everybody, welcome back to Neon Trash. Tommy the Hammer here, hanging out with Hayes, BC, Alivia, Johnny Rocket. Tonight it is Olivia's pick. She brought over 2 movies, but we settled on one. Which one are we going with, guys?
Well,
Spring.
yeah, I guess I'm slightly speaking for Alivia here, but we will be watching Blue Spring. We recently reviewed another movie from the director called Nine Souls.
Yes.
Everyone liked it.
We did.
This movie is actually kind of what put him on the map, and I don't want to say it's held in totally higher regard, but it has more of a reputation. And it follows similar themes, disaffected youth,
Favorite word?
like loneliness and isolation in Japan. A lot of these movies came out. Thank you, Matt. Very informative. A lot of these movies came out in the early 2000s when there was like an economic downturn and lots of bad shit happening in Japan.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just a really good movie. It's short, breezy.
I liked Nine Souls a lot, so I can't wait to check out another flick from this director. You guys know this part? Check out the trailer. Peep that shit!
God damn it.
그저俺も連れてってくれよ.
Alright, we just got done watching Blue Spring. And I gotta tell you, I really didn't know what to expect coming into this movie, but it was definitely not what we got. Like, not what I got anyway. Like, it felt initially like it really wasn't going much of anywhere, but after a while I kind of realized like that was the point. Like, these characters have no idea what the hell they're doing. They're about to graduate high school. What are they going to do? Are they going to try to pursue a sports career? Are they going to go to college? Are they going to fucking join, the Yakuza? Like, what are they going to do? We have no idea. They have no idea. And it's unsettling. Like, Jesus, man, this is like life or death when you're like, man, I mean, we kind of faced these decisions ourselves coming out of school, but like we had a plan. I felt, we were a little bit more focused. Like, these guys like have no idea.
As the movie was ending, I was like, well, this comes across as one of the guys who's like really working hard to impress his buddy, impress the guy who's the boss, impress whoever. Come to realize the guy doesn't really give a shit, and so that just sends him to a spiral, down, and it's just like. Upsets him, obviously.
Right? What the fuck is all this about?
Yeah, and then he just kind of just goes on a rampage and does whatever the fuck he wants and realizes, so? What did it do? What's this supposed to do? It's just like, fuck it.
I didn't really know what to make of Blue Spring. Kind of like Nine Souls. That seems to be a thing with this director is when you're watching it, you're like, how do I feel about this? Exactly. One thing I liked about this movie is the chaotic nature of the characters. I mean, they are just
pure chaos.
Angst-driven, full of piss and vinegar. These fuckers don't give a shit.
Don't forget tobacco.
They're smoking cigarettes. They're fucking drinking, spray painting. They don't give a fuck. They're just punks. They're at school probably because they have to be, and their life revolves around this. So I was also kind of reminded about in the 90s there was like this like movement of American films where it would show like, you know, wayward teens in like a high school setting, you know what I'm saying? There was like a lot of movies like that. So I kind of felt like there was a draw to that theme with this movie here, although I feel like this movie kind of does it a little bit better, you know, because it's a little more abstract and up for interpretation by the, you know, viewer. And, you know, as the movie goes along, there really is no purpose. I mean, violence sometimes just exists because people are angry, you know, and by the end of the movie, I found that I actually liked it. You know, I liked where it was going, you know, I liked the music, and despite the characters, I couldn't really gravitate towards, like, none of them. I can't really think of any character in this movie where I was like, oh, they were likable. That's who I'm attached to.
Yeah.
Everyone was just so angry and weird.
This is kind of similar to what everybody else said, but like we kind of go through that like crisis when we're about to graduate high school. These individuals went through the same thing, but I think it was on a different level. Like their school that they went to like seemed to be poor, like they didn't care about their education, they didn't seem to have a leg up in anything, like they didn't have wealthy parents that they could take the business after, anything like that. So it was like whatever they decided to do, like they were gonna have to start from the ground up, and it was gonna be difficult. So like them in this movie, they were kind of just like, fuck it, like they just are dealing with all this stuff. Like their whole life is basically everything that's going on at school. They're not really thinking about the aftermath of graduation, probably because it seems a little ominous, but I liked it. It was definitely interesting, and I think kind of like what Tom said, you don't really know where it's gonna go, so you're like, okay, what's happening?
I think that you're right when you say there aren't really any characters to gravitate towards.
No, definitely not.
But I also think it's a mood piece, and it's like an angst-driven piece.
Yes.
And so, like, Tom is probably the most familiar with this, but in the early 2000s, Japan, whether it was their horror movies, their drama movies, any type of movie they were making, it kind of had this attitude. There's like a loneliness.
Going over the top.
There's a lack of direction, chaotic, and also what you said, Rocket, like unsettling, like hopeless.
Yeah.
And so, for me, I don't necessarily think that this or the movies in this vein are the best ever, but Japan is so known for its classics, its samurai classics, its family type of classics, and then the bizarre, like Nikkei and Soda, where it's like as perverted and violent as can be.
I mean, I really didn't start to actually like this until like the very end, and I was able to kind of think back over the whole of the film, and it was like, you know what, this is actually a pretty good movie, and I can give this a solid 8 out of 10 stars. I thought it was pretty darn good overall, honestly.
I would say, Blue Spring. I mean, honestly, I like this one pretty well. Like, not as much as Nine Souls. So I believe I gave like Nine Souls like an 8, maybe close to like 8.5 or whatever. So I would say a 7.58 for this one for myself.
Fair enough.
Because, you know.
Come back over.
To me, yes.
I mean,
Old Blue Spring here. I thought Nine Souls was definitely slightly better, but I did like the whole piss and vinegar aspect to this movie, so I'm gonna give this one just a straight up 7.
I'm gonna give it a 7 as well. I don't think that this or Nine Souls is better than the other. I think I'm kind of indifferent. I liked both of them, but
fair.
yeah, I enjoyed this. I would give it a 7 as well.
What do you say?
I went really big with my Nine Souls rating,
Yeah.
and I do think that 2 years later, I think he expanded upon some of the themes. I think that he found a way to make you gravitate towards characters more, despite what their attitudes might be or the type of people they were. So I would agree. I think Nine Souls is a superior flick. But I think it was just his second movie. It's an indie Japanese film, and within the genre it falls in, I think it's one of the better ones. And so I'm right there with Rocket. I think it's an 8 out of 10 for me.
Ooh. There you guys have it. That's the old movie Blue Spring. I hope we've been informative, guys. You know this part. Until the next time,
Tune in
to Neon Trash.